And our third and final main topic today gets submitted to us by Sam Spril, who writes, "Greetings, John and Rob. With regards to Scarlett Johansson's lawsuit, it seems like Disney has pushed back, giving us a different side to this, stating that she has been paid $20 million and that discussions were had about the Premier Access deal with her contract. But if that was the case, why wouldn't Scarlett Johansson even bother with the lawsuit? Is it for more money or something else that we are not aware of? Thoughts?" All right, thanks a lot for sending that in, Sam. And yeah, this has been, Rob, for the last 48 hours or 24 hours, really, because the story first dropped almost 24 hours ago exactly.
Yep.
This has been the talk of the industry for the last 24 hours. So just to highlight, yesterday we found out that Scarlett Johansson, who has been in 9 films for the MCU and has been around almost since the beginning, she is one of the OG Avengers. She was suing Disney for breach of agreement and breach of contract because by putting Black Widow on Disney Plus Premier Access, they violated their agreement and it cost her financially because a lot of her financial compensation was to be based on the box office, not the Premium Plus access, but the box office results. In the lawsuit, her lawyers asserted that they violated the agreement and they have refused, says Scarlett Johansson's lawyers, they have refused to come to the table and negotiate a solution to this, even though apparently Kevin Feige wanted them to. And Disney refused to do that, which left her with no choice but to sue. So there's that. Now, following that up, Disney made a response. And this comes to us from Deadline. Disney's response, by the way, just to say this up front before I even read it, Disney's response is one of the most classless, dirty, underhanded, sniveling coward, look over there, don't look at what I'm doing, distraction comments I have ever read, and I'm disgusted by it. Anyway, let's go over and see what their response was. A Disney spokesperson says, "There is no merit whatsoever to this filing," which is fine to say if that's your position. "The lawsuit is especially sad and distressing in its callous disregard for the horrific and prolonged global effects of the COVID-19 pandemic." Let me just put a pause on here for a second. What the fuck does your contract with Scarlett Johansson have to do with COVID?
Nothing.
What does this have to do with COVID? It's like saying, yeah, I told you I'd pay you $100 to mow my lawn, but 9/11 happened. What did that have to do with me mowing your lawn for something that happened however many years ago? You're just ignoring the horrific events of this terrible tragedy that happened to our world. What are you talking about? Anyway, let's keep going here, shall we? "The callous disregard and for the horrific and prolonged global effects of COVID-19 pandemic. Disney has fully complied with Ms. Johansson's contract, and furthermore, the release of Black Widow on Disney Plus with Premier Access has significantly enhanced her ability." Listen to this. It didn't pay her more money. It says it significantly enhanced her ability to earn additional compensation on top of the $20 million she has received to date. On top of the $20 million she has received to date. You fucking cowardly assholes at Disney. That is one of the dirtiest things. They are trying to play on public sentiment by publicly outing what her salary was on it, as if to say, look, everybody, look how much money she made.
Yeah, she's a rich girl.
She's rich. We shouldn't be expected to actually honor our agreements. Look how much money she made, everybody. Boo! Boo, rich girl! Boo!
And this coming from Disney. Rob, they sell a sandwich for how much at Disneyland?
Way too much. $17 for a piece of shit plate of awful spaghetti. Anyway, so like when first of all, I fully expect them to come and say, "Hey, there's no merit to this case. We look forward to going to a court case. We look forward to going to trial to prove our case." Well, I would expect them to say that. That's fine. That's all within the realm of thing. But for them to go, it's COVID. What the hell does COVID have to do with your agreement? Oh, she made $20 million. What does that have to do with your agreement? What does that have to do with your agreement? Rob, I'm telling you, the last year or so, Disney, I am a big Disney fan,
Me
but
too.
Disney has made it more and more difficult for me to be a fan of them lately. And this move, this statement they put out is absolutely disgusting. Playing on the tragedy that our world has had with COVID, and however many millions of people have died of this thing, and you try to put that in your public statement as some sort of way to sway public opinion. It had nothing to do with COVID, you self-sanctimonious sons of bitches. Like, it is absolutely disgusting, their response. Again, look, I'm not talking about the basic legal problem here. ScarJo feels that her contract means she deserved more money that she got ripped off of because of their move to Premium Plus. Disney feels that they didn't and they acted within the spirit of their contract. Okay, you're going to go to court. You're going to work this out, and that's fine. That's all totally fine, whatever. But this is disgusting. This is absolutely disgusting. And it's no wonder, Rob, that we're hearing that Kevin Feige is pissed off at them for this situation. It's no wonder we're now hearing that Emma Stone is considering launching her own lawsuit in a situation like this. Now, I also want to go on and point out that if, I think I misplaced it. No. I think I found, or maybe I missed it. No, I got it here. So in response to them, you know what? No, I lost it. Rob, I don't know if you had it. In response to Disney's statement, Scarlett Johansson's representation came out and made their own statement as well, following up what Disney made public. Rob, do you have, I know you were talking to me about that before the show. Do you still have it there with you?
Yeah, I've got Brian Lord's, the CAA statement.
Yeah. What's their statement on that?
Oh, it's great. So Brian Lord is Scarlett Johansson's agent, and he runs CAA. He writes, I want to address the Walt Disney Company's statement that was issued in response to the lawsuit filed against them yesterday by our client, Scarlett Johansson. They have shamelessly and falsely accused Ms. Johansson of being insensitive to the global COVID pandemic in an attempt to make her appear to be someone they and I know she isn't. Scarlett has been a Disney partner on 9 movies, which have earned Disney and its shareholders billions. The company included her salary in their press statement in an attempt to weaponize her success as an artist and businesswoman. Keep in mind, she's also a producer on Black Widow, as if that were something she should be ashamed of. Scarlett is extremely proud of the work that she and all of the other actors, writers, directors, producers, and the Marvel creative team have been a part of for well over a decade. This suit was filed as a result of Disney's decision to knowingly violate Scarlett's contract. They have very deliberately moved the revenue stream and profits to the Disney Plus side of the company, leaving artistic and financial partners out of their new equation. That's it. Pure and simple. Disney's direct attack on her character and all else they implied is beneath the company that many of us in the creative community have worked with successfully for decades. Now, that is the most that they have very deliberately moved the revenue stream and profits to the Disney Plus side of the company. That, John, is the crux of all of this, because that is the future of all of these companies. They make a lot more money on the Disney streaming side of things. They have a lot more stability when they're making moves. And that's what this is all about. The very future of movie making and television making is being played out right here. And this is not the first of these suits, and it certainly won't be the last.
Yeah. Now, I just should respond to something here. Somebody in the live chat I think it's Black Sabbath 1993 wrote into the live chat and says, John, COVID was the cause of the move to Disney Plus, so it's related. It's not related. What that is related to was Disney's desire to move Black Widow to Disney Plus. It is not related at all to the agreement and contract between Disney and Scarlett Johansson,
which was signed in 2017.
Signed in 2017. So it is related to Disney's desire to move it. So, I mean, I never liked their decision to move it, but they did, and that's fine. But at that point, if you want to make that move, you now have to go and address the pre-existing agreements that you have with your talent and address it. And they simply didn't. And COVID had nothing to do with the agreement between Scarlett Johansson here. Now, look, I'm not the world's biggest Scarlett Johansson fan. I mean, I am a fan of Scarlett Johansson, don't get me wrong, but it's not like she's Jennifer Garner to me, and it's not like she's Ryan Reynolds to me. But this is black and white. Now, I used to work in law, and Rob, for a good period of time that I worked in law, I specifically had to work in litigation regarding violations of contracts. And this is not difficult. Now, Disney's going to try to throw up a lot of smoke screens. They're going to try to change public opinion by these bullshit scumbag tactics of, oh, let's throw out how much we paid her, and let's bring up COVID, and let's do all this kind of stuff. At the end of the day, though, 95% of these litigation cases, they never actually go to trial. Like the vast majority of time, these personal litigation things and contractual litigation things, they are usually settled out of court long before they go to trial. And I fully expect that's what's going to happen here. Disney is going to try to save face completely the wrong way, because they're just making themselves look worse here right now. But it's going to go in front of a mediator. The mediator is going to say, wait a minute, these agreements and assurances were made, Disney. You got to live up to it. And then they'll make an offer to ScarJo and her lawyers, and at some point they'll come to a number that they accept. And this is going to be settled out of court. I am just, again, Rob, as a fan of Disney, as a fan of what not just Kevin Feige has done with Marvel, but a fan of their universe and worlds of movies that they do over at Disney, I am exceedingly frustrated to see what they have become ever since Big Papa Iger handed the wheel over and handed the throne over to somebody else. I had all the belief in the world that Bob Chapek was going to be able to manage this. Bob Chapek has turned out he's the guy who's going to run Disney into the ground. If he continues on burning bridges, creating dissent within his own company, trying to strong arm people and go, we're Disney, Scarlett Johansson. You're just an actress. We're Disney. So what are you going to do? Oh, you're going to sue us? Okay, you know what? We're going to tell the public what you made. We're going to besmirch your character. We're going to call you sad. And we're going to call you this. And it's like, you know what? This never would have happened, Rob, under Iger. Iger never would have let it come to this point. No. And it's just, it's so frustrating to see. By the way, Mark Smith sends in a super chat badge in live chat. Thank you, Mark. Anyway, Rob, your commentary on this whole situation.
Well, first of all, what she makes is entirely irrelevant to this situation. It's absolutely irrelevant. So put that out of your mind. But here's another thing. What about Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt? Did they, when they made contracts to make Jungle Cruise, was it in their contracts that they were going to get a theatrical release? Do they have box office bumps? Just like Emma Stone in Cruella. I mean, this idea that, I'm sorry, but yeah, COVID is something that we didn't expect, they didn't expect, but that is irrelevant because Disney Plus or Disney made a decision that's best for them. And by not including their partners, meaning the people they made the movies with, that's on them. They should have been like, you know what? Clearly, it doesn't matter what scenario happens. It doesn't. And by the way, even if you like or don't like the movies, it's still irrelevant because in the case of Marvel movies, you have 23 movies with an average box office of $1 billion. So there is an expectation that you could expect that ballpark figure. Now, they've reduced Black Widow's theatrical window now to only 33 days. It was even with when she signed those contracts, the expectation was movies are in theaters for 90 to 120 days. Well, now it's down to 45 days. They reduced that theatrical window to 33 days. So there's a lot going on here. The contract that she signed 4 years ago, the universe has changed, and everyone going forward, there'll be different contracts. But now we're in a transitional period. And it's not Scarlett Johansson's fault that she's found herself here. She just, look, you get what you negotiate. That's what she negotiated, period. All of this other stuff is just noise, and it's irrelevant to the facts at hand. She signed a contract. Disney is not living up to the contract. And Cruella and Jungle Book, that could be the same situation. And if you're Dwayne Johnson, you're like, I'm used to making this much at the box office. If you look, I make multiple films for multiple companies, and this is what they do. And this movie theatrically underperformed as far as I'm concerned, hurting my brand. You bet your ass I'm going to sue you. I want the money that's due me, and this is not my fault. And they open themselves up to, I think, a world of hurt. And also, by outing what she got paid, what does that say to all the other actors for other Disney projects or Marvel projects? Does that make Kevin Feige's life more difficult? Because what they make is irrelevant. What somebody makes it shouldn't have any bearing on what other people make, but you think it's not going to now? Of course it is.
And by the way, I guarantee you, we talked a little bit earlier about phone calls that are absolutely happening right now. I'll tell you another phone call that is absolutely happening right now. Bob Chapek is on the phone with Sony today. And Bob Chapek is saying, what can I do to get you to release that Spider-Man No Way Home trailer today? I need a distraction. I need people to look at something else. They're looking at all this awful shit I'm doing. I need to jingle the keys in front of, look over here, Spider-Man trailer. And if that doesn't happen, maybe a Hawkeye trailer drops today. I don't know. But I am telling you right now, Bob Chapek is trying to come up with some kind. I would not be surprised at all, Rob, if later today some kind of massive trailer gets dropped. I would not doubt it if some kind of massive trailer did not drop today. I think that's what we're going to see happen. Anyway, guys, the question is for you. What do you think about this whole situation here with Scarlett Johansson, Disney, Kevin Feige, the whole bit? This is going to get nastier before it gets better. And I only said that half jokingly, Rob. I really am half expecting to see some kind of major trailer drop today to try to distract everybody from all this too. So yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Anyway, guys, what do you think about this whole situation? Jump on down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts.